reals.
What's good, y'all? Fusion here. Back on another video. We got the gang here again. Yesterday we talked about prime time, and today we're gonna be talking about Jedi like survival or something. I got Honey Wheat and Vegas. What do y'all got to say to the people to warm us up?
Hey.
What's going on, Vegas here? And we are about to discuss the failure of EA and Star Wars.
Why do you say it with such disdain in your voice?
Because I have much disdain for EA and what they've been doing.
Wait, I thought we were gonna talk about Jedi the Survivor or whatever it's called.
We will, but we will go into it.
Actually, why don't we go ahead and hear your rant real quick? What do you think about EA and how they're handling Star Wars?
Go ahead.
I want to hear this.
So wait, our topic is just thrown out the window?
Yes, now it is. Go ahead.
So I don't think EA cares about its fans. I don't think EA cares about Star Wars. I don't think EA cares about anything relating to Star Wars and what they want, because in my opinion, it's not that hard to make a good Star Wars game. You have a blueprint. We have a solid blueprint of previous Star Wars games of what people want. We have a blueprint of an all-time favorite, a Star Wars Battlefront 2. EA can't get that right. We have blueprint of the first Star Wars Battlefront. They can't get that right. We have blueprints of other Star Wars games, Force Unleashed. They can't get that right. So all of the games that they have come out so far have been okay to mediocre at best. The only game I would say that they were close to hitting right on is Battlefront 2, but that took forever for them to somewhat get something right. And even I'm still disappointed in that because they gave up on adding updates to that game. So that game is now, it is what it is. So the next game that they're coming out is Star Wars Survivor. So I am somewhat looking forward to this game based on what I've seen from the last one. I thought there could have been some, some adjustments in terms of like the fighting, the lightsaber fighting, the shooting, and I just think they could have added some more like customary stuff when it comes to like a Star Wars games where with like the Jedi and what they can do. So, because it seems like these single player games that they're coming up with are just based off the story. So, I'll say this right now: if the story is whack, this game's gonna be whack. So, that's all I'm gonna say for right now. So, and EA has yet to get that right. So, and if they're going based off what Disney's been doing, I have a bad feeling about this game. Quoting Star Wars reference right there.
I got a bad feeling about this. All right, Honey Wheat, what you got? What you got to say, Honey Wheat?
So I do disagree a little bit with Vegas. I'm gonna say a little, just a wee bit, just because I think Battlefront 2 was honestly a lot of fun. Battlefront 2 when they that last, at least the that last update, it was a fun game, especially to play with friends. I enjoyed it for that reason. But I do agree, it took way longer than it should have. But that's kind of the norm though with games. Like, look at Destiny 1 and 2. It took them 2 or 3 years to put up a solid game, essentially. It was never released fully. So I think it's something to kind of expect with games now. They don't seem to ever have the full game out upon release for some reason. It just doesn't seem to be the case because I think they rush it and get them out quicker. But so I think that Battlefront 2 deserves a pass. I think it's kind of the norm of games right now, which is not saying it's the right thing. Not saying it's the right thing, but it is fact nonetheless. And I think Fallen Order, story-wise, was really great and it was fun to watch. I didn't play this Fallen Order, but I think it was a fun game, and so especially to watch. I'm gonna actually, since I feel like I made a mistake with not playing the game, so I'm going to be playing it, the second one, when it comes out. I might even get the first one to play it through before the second one comes out too. Honestly, now I'm thinking about it, but I think EA's done just as much with Star Wars as anybody would have, because I just don't think you're gonna be able to get Star Wars. No one. There's no way. I can never think of a way someone's gonna be able to actually make Star Wars good in its own way, where it's like something that's not been done before, where they don't want to just copy. So I guess they technically could go back and copy Battlefront 1 and 2, but at the same time, I don't think those game standards back then would fit now. We want more. We feel like we deserve more.
They should copy it.
It wouldn't. It wouldn't work. What are you talking? There wouldn't fit. There's no one. The way games are now, they want more. There's got to be a battle royale. There's got to be customizable content. There's got to be endless hours of game.
The customizable
emotes, e-girls.
The customizable thing is, I think, is unnecessary for Star Wars games because what can you customize for a Star Wars gun? You can't customize anything. It's just a blaster. They all look the same. They all sound the same. So we already know this. So if you're going to do like a Star Wars game and for people to like just shoot each other, you need to be able to like have automatic loadouts. You need to have like in the first Star Wars game, in the first Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, they didn't have like customary loadouts where you can change all this other stuff and add all these special abilities. They just had the trooper itself. They had the super battle droid, they had the droideka, they had the jetpack troop, they had the sniper, and everyone was cool with that because you knew what your character did, you knew your role of the character. Now you got all this other random stuff that people think that they need in a Star Wars game. People play Star Wars for the look. They like the look of the game. They like the Jedis. They like all the vehicles and whatnot. You don't need all this extra stuff. And I think it hurts EA's brain. And when they have to add all this other stuff, when they don't need it, they don't need any of this extra stuff. They just need the actual look of the game for it to look good. What I want is a Battlefield type game, but Star Wars. But a Star Wars thing, but they don't have like all the customary stuff with like what they have for Battlefield because you don't need that for a Battlefront game.
But so, that's not selling. That's not gonna sell because look at.
It's not gonna sell.
They're gonna be broke. They're not gonna get their money back on that. Are you serious? Like, so I'm gonna bring up some games.
There is no person out there who's gonna say the game.
Hey! I'm gonna bring up the games that are top games right now and tell me if they have customization or not. Let's bring this up. Let's talk about Fortnite. Customization or no?
For Fortnite, I think yeah.
Fortnite is just a giant ad, but go ahead.
But essentially, yes, right? So not correct. Call of Duty, yeah. Warzone, yes or no? Customization.
Well, obviously for those games, yes, but not for Star Wars. Hold on.
Halo.
What can you customize for a Star Wars game? Tell me, what can you customize?
What you customize the hilt, the color of a saber. You can customize the choice of armor you use. Look at Battlefront 2. The choices of armor.
If you're talking about like the saber and the character, like whatnot, like I agree with that. But I'm just talking about like just an ordinary character. Like if they want to bring in like say Darth Maul into the game, you're not gonna you can't customize Darth Maul. He's gonna wear different
shit. He's gonna wear different stuff. He's worn different.
Yeah, he's gonna wear different. He's gonna wear different clothes and whatnot. But you're not gonna customize his color of his saber or the way he his saber looks. You can't do that. You can customize his like clothes. What I'm saying, what you can't customize is like the troopers, like the clone troopers. All the troopers, they come out the way that they are. You have a regular trooper, you have a captain trooper, you have a jetpack trooper. So. You can't change the color of like the let's say for like the battle droids of like in the Clone Wars era. You can't customize a battle droid for him to look like pink or something. You can't do that.
I think
they have different armors. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think if they could have customized Finn and changed his color, then he would be a Jedi.
Oh my god!
I'm just throw that out there.
You're not wrong though. You're not wrong.
Go ahead.
But the thing is, there's other. They have clones have other armors that they use depending on the battlefield. So there's clone commandos. And part of being a clone trooper, if you remember watching any type of clone featurette, they would customize their armor themselves. If you don't remember, go back, watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Fives, literally, the reason Fives had the handprint on his face. They had different markings to make themselves unique. That was the whole appeal of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Because
hold on. That's because it's a show, and the show is trying to get you connected with the characters. You're not getting connected with the character in the game when you're shooting at people.
It will make you feel connected to your character. That's the whole point. It makes you feel connected to your character. It makes you feel connected to your character.
Because here's the thing, you'll have to do that because EA would basically have to do that for every single era of character. They'll have to do that for the rebels and the stormtroopers. They'll have to do it for the clones and the battle droids, and they will have to do that for the first order and the
Knights of
resistance for next order. They'll have to do that for every single era of Star Wars, and that will hurt EA's brain, and they're going to mess something up, or they're going to give us something like that, and it's just going to be trash, and people are going to complain about it either way.
That's the
So
only way to give Star Wars its due justice, though. It's the only way, because you're almost saying to eliminate every bit of the universe that makes Star Wars Star Wars. Because I'm so sick of Star Wars games
sure
not
EA's brain
having,
doesn't get hurt.
not having any. Like you're telling me right now that there's not a single other alien outside of white humans that exists. And you're gonna tell me right now in the Star Wars universe, there's not a single other person that's like another clone that's not. I mean, another alien or not white. Or it's a different planet. It seems like it's the same thing, like Earth. I'm just
Oh my goodness. I am not like I don't look at Star Wars just to see like what's the race of my character under his helmet or under her helmet? What kind of uh clothing or some pants that my alien is going to wear while he's running in the battlefield? Like EA's brain can barely handle something like that, and then you're telling them to add all this customary stuff. I'm trying to make their lives easier by just giving me stationary layouts, default layouts, and they can worry about everything else in terms of like gameplay, the actual game flow of the game. That I want them to worry about that stuff, not worry about what pants a Battletoid is going to wear or something like that.
Oh, that's
All
not
right,
gonna sell.
hold on, guys. Let me. So it seems like we're getting a little bit off track. So since we are talking about what type of Star Wars game that we would want, let's just go ahead and just do this. If you were going to make a single player Star Wars game, first we're gonna start off with like a single player, and then we're gonna start off with like a multiplayer game. So for a single player game, honey, what would you like in Star Wars?
So, what I would like is to have a playable character that's not the same as every other playable character in every Star Wars movie / show.
Facts.
So that's why personally I would like to give the player the option. While I do like the actor and the character of Cal, I would prefer a featuring this again, Disney is Jedi, but a Star Wars game based around you being able to pick from a couple of different alien races and where they stand at that point in time during the Star Wars universe. Kind of like in Cyberpunk, where you could pick Street Rat or Corpo, etc. Where you could pick a point in time, like a certain basically cast level of characters. You could pick like a Wookiee, where Wookiees they're few and far between. They're rare, right? And or you could pick I guess your basic normal white character, do your own little thing, but then allow for somebody to play and get connected to feel connected to that character. Because usually when you make a character or you pick a character for a reason, it's because you feel connected to someone with that character, which makes you more engaged in the game. And at that point, I don't really care because I just want to see more. Star Wars has all this content. They don't use it. They don't use any of that.
That's true.
Races.
I agree.
They don't use any bit of it. We see the same like 2% of it. So I just want to see a game that expands on like the other 98% of like canon, non-canon information. So I think that's what makes it fun. It makes it get more people into Star Wars, and you don't have the same. I can't tell you how annoying it is to watch a Star Wars movie enough. Who's gonna be the Jedi? Oh, I knew they were gonna do something. I knew when they did the new trilogy, they were gonna do my boy Finn wrong. The whole 3 trilogies is just him saying Ray the whole time. That's all he said.
We're getting off track. We didn't need all that.
I'm just saying. I'm done. I just want something that shows the other 98% of Star Wars universe. That's the kind of game I want. I don't care what they do with it.
Okay.
I just want to see more of the world being explored.
All right, Vegas. What would you want in a solo player Star Wars experience?
Okay, solo player Star Wars experience. All right, so it depends on what's the solo game going to be about.
Bro, make it however you want it. Do it how Vegas would like.
All right, so it will be a customizable. It'll be similar to what Honey Wheats just said about it being a customizable character that you are going to play. So it's not going to be about some story of someone else. It's going to be a character that you create. So it'll be unique to you. So you'll be able to create your own saber, create your own type of feel in terms of what you're wearing or what you're doing and something like that. So it'll be customizable to you and something that it's your own unique story. So that's kind of my thing. And it doesn't have to be crazy in terms of like, oh man, like we don't know, like there are going to be so many different routes this player can take. It could be like a a very linear route in terms of what you're going to do, but it could be similar to like Cyberpunk in terms of like there's different fields that you could be a part in, but you're able to customize your own character so that it flows in that sort of story, but it's still unique to you because that's your own character. So it would be similar to what Cyberpunk did, but it'll be like a Star Wars thing.
Okay. Here's how I would want it. Star Wars itself. I'm gonna be frank. Fusion. I don't want to play no damn bounty hunter. I don't want to play no damn gun rebel. I don't want to play as no damn stormtrooper. I want to be a Jedi or Sith. I want to have. At the end of the day, Jedi and Sith, it's all about choice. I think it's hard to create a good Star Wars story without that choice to become either dark side or light side. I think that you have to, if you are going to be a Jedi, you should have a storyline or something where that there's a branching path where you can stick with the light side or go to the dark side, almost like cyberpunk, giving you that choice. But personally, I think the most important part about Star Wars in general is the customization of your force powers, how you want to use the force. I think Star Wars itself, I don't give a damn what nobody says. The force is what Star Wars is. I want to have the ability to be creative with it, to choke people out, or to force shock them, or to push them so hard that their pants fall off. I want to do that. I want that creativity. That's how I would want it. And I would want to make, honestly, I would want it to be more of a gray Jedi, someone who uses dark side powers but is a light side guy. So that means that you have that ability to to do like the branching path almost, that you can be good or bad, but it just like depends on you. That's how I would want it. I wouldn't want to play as no human. I'm tired of playing as Nathan Drake 2.0. I want to play as a Wookiee, or I want to play as a droid with a lightsaber, or I want to play as something other than Nathan Drake 2.0. That's what I want to do. That's how I would want it. Because, again, just like how Honey Wheat says, the Star Wars galaxy continuity is gigantic. There's no way that we should all be playing as Cal Kestis with the same bowl cut. I'm tired of seeing that. I want to see something different. That's how I would want it.
Hey, you're not wrong for what you said. I agree as well. There's too many linear stuff in what EA is doing and what the Star Wars universe has to offer. So
right now, going over to like the multiplayer part, how would you want your game, Vegas? How would you want it to be, as far as like a multiplayer game?
All right. So my multiplayer game will focus on like the online aspect of what Star Wars is. So it'll be like similar to what Galactic Conquest had to offer in like Battlefront 2 in terms of like what the game is and what it's going to be about. It's going to be solely online. Well, yeah, it's going to be solely online because the multiplayer game will be mostly about, so because the multiplayer aspect could be a whole bunch of things, but it could be a shooter game or like a war type game, or it could be like a Jedi type game or whatnot. So I'm just focusing on like the Battlefront type thing in terms of like the battles and the space battles in terms of like shooting a first person shooter type game. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. So it'll be similar to like Galactic Conquest and what we got. I'm still on board with the default classes. You'll get the default droid, you get the default super battle droid, you get the default droid and whatnot, you get the default clone troopers and whatnot. So you get all your default classes, but I will mainly focus on like the combat itself. It'll be a bunch of players on like one little map, or yeah, it'll be on maps, and it'll be focused on space battles, ground battles, in terms of like communication, being able to move around, spawn with each other. It'll be similar to what Battlefield has right now, but again, it's going to be like a Star Wars theme type feel, but it'll be online. So like people are able to take control of different planets, move from planet to planet, and then it'll be like progression. It'll be progression sort of thing in terms of like which side is winning the war and whatnot. So that's what my thing would be about. It'll be mostly about the war aspect of what the Battlefront has to offer.
Okay. Honeyweed, what about you? Multiplayer game. How would you run it?
I'm kind of similar to Vegas in some ways. I do think that the best thing with multiplayer would be to have. So again, I like the idea of keeping having more diverse characterization. Especially, I think the best diverse characterization would be not Clone Wars versus droids. But I would rather keep more take place. I guess you have multiple, but take place mostly with like either the Rebels slash First Order, Empire, and Resistance, because they have the most diverse casts I've seen, at least in terms of like different people are part of the rebellion or part of the empire. Well, I guess it's not really empire, but I think that there should be classes set up that are specific towards race. Like for example, if you have like a Wookiee warrior, they're gonna have heavier loaded weapons and like loadouts because they can carry more. And then maybe like your smaller alien races, like I don't know, like for example, I guess the only thing right now is the Ewok. I didn't think Ewoks needed to be in the game. And so I need some Ewoks that they have like everything like a lighter loadout class. So I think having the class system is fine, but I think you should be able to use other like races and stuff like that to from different alien species to kind of divide those classes to be usable in those games. But I do agree with the idea of having a war style aspect where you have different planets, kind of like from Battlefront 2 with the conquest thing that they had set up, but maybe make it like a live thing where like when you
Oh,
go like Elder Scrolls Online or like any like MMO, you pick a faction, and so basically the factions are fighting for control over the map, and when they win that, they get the map, they get rewards or whatever. So that way it motivates people. But obviously you want to find a way to balance it because some people might pick more like one faction versus another. But I would want something like that. That way, something you're playing for something, you're playing for something. Just that way, it gets good replay value and gives you purpose to wanting to play the game over and over again every single day.
um, so just from hearing y'all both, I think it. I like how what Vegas is saying about the like the galactic conquest. Actually, growing up, just so the audience knows, we all played like the galactic conquest like together, like split screen like together, so we know what we're talking about. But I like that overall concept, as well as what you said, Honeyweed, about bringing in like the other races as almost like a class system, like having a Wookiee with a big gun. I was gonna say cock by accident. A gun. Um, do y'all think Wookiees are packing like that?
They have to be, I would assume,
Yeah,
unless they procreate somehow in a different way.
yeah, I don't know. But would y'all? No, it's just a question. Would you want it like a Overwatch type of thing? Like the Wookiee has this type of power, but they're tanky, so then they are good tanks, so they can do this. Or an Ewok who is more light armor, or have like a pistol or like a slingshot, and then like they're moving faster, or something like a sniper who does certain things from afar, but more objective gameplay. Would y'all want something like that, or just like team deathmatch?
I think that'd be fun,
I'm
honestly.
cool with that. The Ewok Wookiee type thing because that's what we had last time. We had
Mm-hmm.
distinct roles for different characters of what they had. They had the fast character, they had the slow character, they had the sniper character, they had the regular character. So we already had that. It's just that we now have this customizable thing where everyone can be anything. So if we went back to like the standard class of Wookiee being a tank and Ewok being like a little sprint scout guy, it'll make things more clear about what your role is supposed to be and the obvious weaknesses and strengths of the character. So
What do you think
that
about the
that's
heroes, like as far as gaining the power to become a hero? Do you think that that should stay in this type of game, or do you think that that should be an only heroes versus villains thing?
uh so I actually liked so. what EA did for Battlefront 2, I actually like how they did it for Battlefront 2 in the system of, I guess they, in that type of system, they had points, and like the more points you got, you're able to like have able to unlock a a hero, but there can only be a certain amount of heroes on the field, so everyone can't become a hero. But if you save up all your points, you're able to become that hero. So I like how they had that system set up. So yeah, I think I'll go with that in terms of like if you're on the battlefield, yeah, you're able to like unlock a hero while you're playing.
What about
I
you,
can.
Honeyweek?
So I think the hero system is interesting because we did it like let's say we go with an Overwatch style game where like I play Overwatch 2, I played Overwatch 1, I play Overwatch 2 with some friends I play, so I have a pretty understanding of like how that game plays in terms of like how that would work. But the hero part is interesting to me because there's some heroes like I remember with hero avails and that's across any of them. It always sucked when you got stuck playing like Finn or Han
Racist.
Solo and you
No, I'm just kidding.
because like playing Finn or Han Solo and you got this blaster pistol and then you have Darth Vader slash Darth Maul or whoever with lightsabers and force powers. It's almost like a complete utter waxing. So I would think that if we did do like an Overwatch style, I would think they need to implement Jedi users as yes, like where you have because obviously there's synergies when it comes to Overwatch. There's synergies with certain characters that work better, and that would be disrupted if there was Jedi in there, but maybe not so much for like characters like Finn, Leia that don't have like light or jet considered essentially Jedi. Even though Leia doesn't have force powers, I guess you could say. But I think that ultimately would be one thing you have to look at balancing if you did, because if you want to make sure that one thing that happened with the Jedi would be they would either break up the kind of like the synergies of the game and how characters interact with each other because they'd be almost like oddballs in a way because they're like what are they? Are they like a tank? Are they like a DPS, etc.? I guess you could technically factor that into a potential class setup where you could potentially factor that. But it would be interesting to see what we would do with that because I think that could potentially be a way that either breaks the game or makes the game if you can implement them in a way in an Overwatch style system where you have, let's say, like makes Windu, I think, be more like a tank versus DPS guy. Just the way he plays very strong and aggressive, and I think it's more in line with tank. But someone like Ray, for example, is probably a bit more
Nimble, mind games type of guy.
yeah, nimble, smart. So they play probably maybe quicker, and they're more like an assassin, kind of like how Trish would be like what's her face like Widowmaker. That'd be more of a better comparison. So I think you can maybe do something like that, and if you can find a way to balance that and make that cohesive with the game as an Overwatch style, that would be amazing. That would be a fire game.
CEA, man, we giving you stuff, but y'all gonna have to pay us, and I'm gonna need if y'all use our ideas, I'm gonna need a Jedi Finn skin where he is a Jedi. That's the only way. That's the only way that I'm gonna do it. And just to piss people off, I want Darth Vader to be black, just to cause issues.
It's like, hey, yo.
Just to cause issues. I want an option for him to take off his helmet and he's a brother. Just because. Just because it'd be funny. See what'll happen. But do y'all have anything to like conclude? Because we're already at like 30 minutes.
Nah, I'm good. I got everything I needed off my chest for this topic specifically. We haven't even gotten to like the movies, so.
Oh man, but we'll do the movie one for sure because I felt like I have some stuff to say about that also.
Oh, definitely the movies.
All right, well, tune in for tomorrow because we also going to be doing a rant for the movies. But that's everything. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to leave you with another question. Are you guys tired of seeing Nathan Drake over and over again?